Arkansas Commission will come to order, please. Racing Commission. Mr. Campbell, would you call the order, please?
Yes, sir. Chairman Leylaw,
Here.
Commissioner Lambert, here. Commissioner Post,
Here.
Commissioner East,
Here.
Commissioner Landers, here. Commissioner Hunter,
Here.
and Commissioner Adams. Here. All present.
Very good. Minutes on January 19th, 24. Byron, I saw you back there. You've been reading in charge of the minutes. Did you get these? Good. I think I got it from Nikki too, didn't I? And the rest of it. For the last 20-something years, it's always been the council has read, but we need to specify that what was going on with the minutes. But now we're also getting a copy of the minutes, so we'll also review them along with fire. Excuse me. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve them?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously. Thank you. Got rulings. We have 0 from Oakland, no appeal. So it sounds like we can get right down to it. And that is the new business under it. And we've got Ms. Dorley from Attorney General Office. This is our education process, listening to our council, what they think. And we're all trying to start off on the same starting line. Keep it on track. Everybody's played very, very straight through this. We want to continue to play very, very straight. And I will now turn it over to Dor. And I can say one thing, her father worked for a good friend of mine, Charlie Weaver, for years, and he gave her 8+, so that's good enough.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Dorley Chandler. I'm the Deputy Attorney General over state agencies with the Office of the Attorney General, Tim Griffin. And so, as you all may recall, your attorney, Byron Freeland, had a potential conflict that resulted in his recusal of the issuing of the license to the Polk County Casino applicants. As a result, I have been assigned with the task to represent you all. My role is limited. I'm not replacing Mr. Freeland in any capacity except for assisting you all and advising you all on the issuance of this casino license. I'm here to provide legal advice and guidance to you and not dictate your actions, but give you the best and sound decision-making information so that you can issue this fourth license on a final round. So I want to caution you. I'd be remiss if I didn't caution you before or after this meeting. You may be receiving phone calls and requests to meet from various individuals. Please refer them over to the office, to Smokey. We really need each and every one of you all to not have to recuse from hearing this matter. You all have a very important role here to play. And so if you do get contacted, please just refer them over to Smokey so he can handle those communications. So just briefly, as you all have lived this through the various years, let me just give you a brief history of where we're at and why we're here today. And so the application process followed under 2.13.4, opened in May 1st and ran through May 30th of 2019. Through litigation and ultimately this commission issued a license to Cherokee Nation Businesses LLC and Legends Resort and Casino LLC. This moved through litigation. It went to the Supreme Court with a ruling that came down that you're going to find behind tab 1 of the binders that I provided to you all this morning. That is the complete Supreme Court ruling that was issued on October 26th of 2023. If you all have a desire to read that and haven't already had that opportunity. It contains the majority opinion, the 2 dissents. Also behind it is the ruling from the circuit court that was appealed at. I think it's very important you have all the information that you desire to review in this matter. The mandate allowing us to move forward came down on January 11th, 2024, and that is why we have this meeting set today, is to go figure out what to move forward. The ruling, in effect, not to simplify that ruling, voided and said that there's a void and of no effect the license that you issued. Therefore, as a result of that, no license being issued in effect, all licenses of the application period, the 5 that were issued were either voided by the court or they were denied by this commission. So there is no applications to consider at this point in time. We also, if you will look behind tab 2 and tab 3, those are letters and communications that we received in the office for the commission from various council and representatives. Behind the first tab is communication received from Dustin McGain on behalf of Cherokee Nation businesses. And the third tab is from Casey Castleberry on behalf of Gulfside Casino Partnerships. Those are contained in the binder in date order only. There's no significance to the way and manner in which I put them in the binder. I put the first ones received behind tab 2 and the next set behind tab 3. Those are in there for your review. Each entity has a different opinion on how to move forward, but it appears that there is one consensus of agreement, and is that there needs to be a new open application period. The applications submitted in the May 1st through May 30th have been denied, as I told you, were voided by the court, so there's no applications to consider. Therefore, is the recommendation that you open up a new application period moving forward. The question for you all today, and the biggest consideration, is how do you get there? How do you get to open a new application period? This is where the letters behind tab 2 and tab 3 differ. I've reviewed the letters, and I've reviewed the casino rules, and I've reviewed the case law. When the rules were drafted in 2019, there was no crystal ball for you all to look at to see how this was going to unfold, and there was no contemplation of the situation that you all are finding yourselves in today. An application period concluded without a license at this point. So the question is, how do you open up? Rule 1.010 and Amendment 100 of y'all has contemplated the need for the initial rules, and they also allow you to, per the rules that you set forth in 2019 and the APA, to amend the rules and repeal rules as are necessary to serve the purpose of the amendment, which sets for the commission shall issue a license in Polk County. The recommendation is to amend the rules to allow for a path forward for the commission to open a new application period and eliminate as many legal challenges as possible to this issuance of this license that is forthcoming. Rule recommendations that we have from the Attorney General's office can be found behind tab 4. Those rules contain some corrections for grammatical issues and additional rule considerations that we can walk through, and I'm happy to walk you through those rules. If you will look at page 4 of those rules under non-franchise holder application process, under 4B, we have added for your consideration, if this is the direction you all elect to go, that the beginning on the date established by the commission, we've added the notice of open application is published as a legal notice to clarify what is being published to the general public to view. And we also have, it's our recommendation to remove at the end of that sentence the except for good cause shown. This is a clause that is inviting of litigation. It is not necessary. You are setting a time period to accept those applications. Applicants that are truly interested in being considered should be able to make that application within the 30 days that you all are allowing them. So this is an elimination of a potential challenge should you take and have to make a consideration based on a good cause shown. Under D, and I will tell you that when you look at 4, the non-franchise holder application process, this is a process that should be reviewed in its entirety. It's not a handpick which rule under D to follow. There are 4 rules to be followed under D, and they provide different avenues. The first one, Rule 4A, it allows an application process to be initiated. Rule B triggers the acceptance process. 4 moves to the selection process, and D on this section is the action that and the only action it contemplated for opening or reopening the application period is if no applications were received. So with that, we're to provide clarity and to eliminate legal challenges and the best path forward, we have added to those rules an E. This contemplates an option of an allowance of an opening of an application, new application period, if there is no license issued at the end of that license period. You have received applications, but there's no license issued. The commission elected not to award the license to any of those applicants. Section F is something that these rules had not contemplated, is what happens if a license is not renewed by a casino licensee, is surrendered by the licensee, revoked by this commission for violation of the rules, or is voided by a court, which is the situation that we have before us. This allows you to open up a new application period in compliance with section 4A through D. And so this is the recommendation we have. As you will see, if you flip the pages, there are some other red line changes. The application rules require an amendment when it requires a shareholder to also meet the same background checks. It was not consistently listing shareholder in the rules, so we just added that for consistency and clarity. Additionally, the only other recommended change that we have to this section 2 is based on Rule 12C. Well, actually, Rule 12 dealt with a casino application that may have been denied, as well as a renewal license. Renewals are dealt with under Rule 13. Therefore, we eliminated the blending of a denial of an application with the denial of a renewal in those rules for clarity purposes, and added, because each one of A's has to be, any one of A's could eliminate or result in a denial of an application, so we put or instead in there instead of and. We also, under C, 12C, 13E, 15D, 16F, and 17D. Those are all avenues to appeal an action that has been before you, whether that's a transfer of a license, transfer of location, change of information. Those had different languages in there of how that appeal process and how the request for a hearing before you all could occur. So we just made the same language in each one of those sections, so it's the same process. They can request a hearing from you before you all, and after that hearing, if they do not agree with your ruling, then they can appeal through the APA, which is set out in Rule 18. So those are more consistency matters that I wanted to address and present, since you do have this recommended version of the rules before you. The primary focus and the primary issue that you need to consider is Rule 4 and the changes that we recommend to eliminate a potential litigation claim regarding opening up a new application process. Do you all have any questions for me regarding our recommendations that we need to promulgate amended rules at this point?
Get all that?
Have a meet prepared.
Oh, no, I think this is right now just something for us to think about. We'll have another meeting rather quickly.
That is up to you all as to whether or not you want to take time to review these rules, or you want to make a motion to move forward with the rule promulgation process. That is within y'all's control. It's your decision, as we say here today.
And I said that without any authority. In other words, if we vote right now that we want to do this, this is fine. But we had talked about this, like, let's get our bearings this week. Yes. But I'm not opposed to somebody who's got some other ideas.
I had a quick question I remember a lot of discussion about this, except for good cause shown 3 years ago. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what started this language. So you might have an answer to that.
So the language is not contained within the constitutional amendment. That specific phrasing is not contained in there. and it's not required to be in the rules. I know that it became before this commission when there was a request to amend an application and add legends to the application. And that's when it became before the commission. It is our recommendation that this clause is not defined. There's no guidance for this clause, and this is a clause that is inviting of litigation.
Could we get a copy of the 100?
Yes, I can send you one.
And say, I'll read them. What y'all see, y'all want more time to study this? Or go forward or something?
Change.
Should we go and see if these changes, I don't know what options we're looking
And we're gonna, Anthony's attorney, so we can lean some on that.
Just so I'm clear that the red line text is your proposal for amendment to the existing rules.
Yes, the red line strike through is what we are seeking to remove from the existing rules. The underlined text in red is what we are seeking to add.
Since you pointed out, I'm an attorney, it probably is a good idea to take some time to read over this, even though it does seem pretty simple. and straightforward. Since we were just presented at this point.
I think I agree with you. We will have it, will not be a delay, but I think we're pretty quick readers. So sometime, my idea is sometime next week. Would that give everybody time?
I think that'd be wise.
If I can't hear where the flip on it.
Okay, we'll come back here.
Well, I'm gonna have to come here, y'all. Please,
Well,
Yes, sir.
walk us through a little bit, after we do approve the obligation rules,
Yes.
walk us through the next steps a little bit, timelines,
Okay.
what we would be doing.
So the promulgation rule process is one that is going to take some time. We will need to promulgate those rules, file them with DLR across the street. Once those have been approved by the governor and the secretary, we will file them with DLR. They will have to go through a public comment period, which will be allowed for 30 days. At the end of that 30-day public comment period, we will submit them to BLR. They need to be submitted to BLR by the 15th of the month to get on the next month's agenda. So you are looking at a minimum of 60 days if we move this process steadily at that point. We are entering into a fiscal session that starts the first part of April. And so that may cause a little bit of delay. I would say you're looking at anywhere between 60 to 120 days for the rule promulgation. After the rules are promulgated, if they are accepted by ALC and approved, there's 10 days after we file them with the Secretary of State for them to become effective. At that point in time, my recommendation is you would have a meeting set. We would be able to know in advance, because you have to give 3 days notice for your meetings. We would be able to know in advance when they're going to be on the ALC agenda. And so we could tentatively go ahead and set a meeting. At that point, you will need to review and approve an application, because it is a new application process. So you will need to approve a new application and new matrix and set the time frame for the application process to be open, which is open for 30 days per the amendment in the rules. So at that point, it will be open for a 30-day time period, and then we will move through the same process that you all have been through of reviewing the applications, scoring the applications, and we'll go through that exact same process. Our goal is to move this expediently as we can with eliminating as much potential litigation as possible.
We've been in enough litigation, I think, the last lifetime. I can't keep track of the courts. All right. So at this point, I think the general consensus is let's study this and think about it. and then have a meeting as soon as possible to either approve it or not.
Yes.
Now, one thing, a lot of times we have meetings with Oakland going on, with the races going on. I don't really think that's a good idea to be talking about other casinos, businesses at a casino. It might just not look right. So I think we'll try to continue to have the meetings here. And also, not everybody out there is probably horse racing fans, so that'd save you a trip to Hot Springs. And, but now, is next week sometime suitable for everybody? And our counselor, are you available next week?
I am available next week.
So we're basically wiping the slate clean, starting all over. That's right.
That is a, yes, correct way to look at it.
Well, at least we know what we did wrong the first time. That, what days is everybody available next week?
We do it early. Out of the country.
We're not going out of the country, so that's a very good spot. Is everybody else available first part of the week? I don't like anything on Monday. How about Tuesday?
So for me.
A bit early.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
January 3rd.
Tomorrow's my wife's birthday. Don't let me forget. Third,
Oh, Alex.
yeah. That, is the time, 10:30 still suitable with everybody? Yes, sir. If that helps you. If it doesn't put anybody else, that's fine.
That's good. Shouldn't take very long.
So
Next Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, 11 a.m. And like, when does that announcement have to go out by? March, maybe?
I don't know. I will have to ask them.
Yes, we need to go ahead and post it. I mean, since it's being set today, we can go ahead and post it today.
Okay, yeah. Thanks a lot. So you're gonna be with us every step of the way, is that?
I will be with you every step of the way.
As
As long as y'all are willing to have me, I will be here. My job is to provide you with guidance and assistance.
We appreciate that, but we're in need of guidance and assistance.
Y'all are welcome to keep these binders. There's a, behind the last tab, it is blank. That's intentional so that we can add stuff as you all work through this process. Or you can leave them and I'll bring them back every meeting.
One, I want to thank the audience. I know it's very, very tough. We've got so many attorneys out there and lobbyists not getting to say anything. That's got to be torture. You can apply for medical assistance on the way out. I know it. Now, do we need to do anything else at this point?
No, sir.
Does anybody else have any discussion on this? Until Tuesday. All right. And one about contacting other people. I know, actually, this is a small community. One of the groups, he raced horses. I see him at the races and that, but I'm gonna put him on those, no more talk. I've talked to the Cherokee on one side, had Churchill Down show up one day at the office, and I think he probably had some history. But we're at this point, if I get contacted, it goes directly to Smoker. And I think that's what you're advising all of us to do.
Yes, sir. I think it'd be the cleanest method is to just refer everyone either to Smokey or to me.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Well, you've got your homework assignment. And
Did we drop this class?
I think we'll be able to teach it someday. Well, we don't have anything else. I take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn Arkansas Racing Commission meeting. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much.